Happy 4th of July, everyone. Well, in years past, we've had huge cookouts with family and friends. We no longer have them. We no longer have a screen house, as you obviously know. But we're having a micro cookout eat-in video today. And I do mean micro. Instead of using the big grill, which I'm all out of bottled gas anyhow, for just the three of us, it kind of is foolish, because all we're having is potato salad, cucumbers, and tomatoes, and hot dogs. So, might as well use this thing, which is what I usually use when it's just us. We haven't had company in years to come out here and eat. First of all, my wife, like myself and my son, don't want to be sitting out here at the picnic table being chewed up with mosquitoes and buzzing flies around our head. And that's why years ago I built the screen house back in 1988. So, that's the story there. So we might as well use this grill because it's good enough for the hot dogs, and we usually cook hamburgers on this too. The only problem with this grill is you can turn the flame down low, but you got to watch the hot dogs, because like on the big grill you can put them on the top rack. Well, there's no top rack here, of course. So I pretty well cleaned this the last time. I usually let this run, especially when I'm doing hamburgers. I leave the gas on for about 10 or 15 minutes. In other words, till probably we're done eating and I'll go out and I'll turn it off, and that way it dries up all the grease and everything else. On the hot dogs it'll be virtually no grease at all. So, and I got my zapper out here if I need it. So in a little while I'll be cooking. Wife is preparing the sliced tomatoes and the sliced cucumbers now. And of course it's just the three of us, so my wife don't bother making the potato salad and stuff like that. She only did that when we had big cookouts. It's getting harder now with the arthritis and everything, so those days are gone. The last cookout we had was 2009, and right now it's stuffy out here, not a breeze stirring, and we're going to eat inside, of course, where it's air conditioned. So I gotta stand here, and I actually gotta babysit the hot dogs because they get burnt in the outside before they get cooked all the way through, and I just pulled them out of the freezer, so they're a little tricky to cook, because I've had it where you cook the outsides almost to a crisp, which I don't like, and neither does my wife, and the insides are cold or cool. So we'll have to figure out how we're going to do that. Probably just keep moving them around on the grill. So we'll join you in a while. I haven't lit this yet because I want to find out when she wants me to start cooking. And I want to preheat this about 5 minutes anyways. Okay, we got the hot dogs. Came out of the freezer. These are Stop and Shop. We had Peapod deliver, but our lousy governor, Demorat, wants to hit us with 10 cents for every plastic bag starting August 1st. So we may not have Peep Pod delivering anymore because they deliver stuff to us and use one bag for one item. So a dime a bag, no way. And I don't think it's like the bottle thing where you get your deposit back, because there's no way to probably do that. I'm not. If I go to Walmart to buy 1 or 2 items, I'll bring my own plastic bag in, whether it's Walmart's bag or Dollar General bag or a Harbor Freight bag. It ain't gonna matter. I'm not paying a dime for every damn plastic bag that I'm only gonna throw away in the recycle anyhow. All right, well, let's get this started. It's easier for my wife because it's hard for her to go out and do shopping, so we usually have it delivered, but it costs a little more to do that. Anyways, preheat this. And gotta watch. When hot dogs are on, I gotta constantly turn them over because the grill will burn them, even though it's down low, and they'll still be cold on the inside. So I was going to put them in the microwave, but the wife says no, they'll get rubbery doing that, you know, so we're not going to do that. Anything I hate is a rubbery hot dog. But these are pretty good hot dogs. These are similar to the Mucky, M-U-C-K-E-Y, or the Hummel natural casing Franks. These aren't too expensive for what they are, and they're pretty good hot dogs. Unlike the ones Cumberland Farms has, which are terrible. So, okay, we'll put this down to low. I'll go in and check with the wife and see if she is ready for me to put the dogs on. All right. These are still frozen. We've got ice on them. Here comes the babysitting part. So, while we're babysitting the hot dogs on this Thursday evening, I hope you all have a good 4th of July. I'm not sure if they're going to televise the event in Washington, D.C. According to the weather guessers, it's supposed to rain down that direction, so I don't know if they're going to have the fireworks or not, but there's a lot of events in the state of Connecticut as well as other states that are having fireworks. And years ago I used to go to quite a few of them back in my very younger years. In fact, there's one that just went off just now. You can't even wait until the sun goes down. So I'm sure around here, not immediately maybe, but you know, close by, there'll be some that'll be setting fireworks off. And in the nearby towns is supposed to be. But I don't go to fireworks. I can't deal with the crowds. I don't like crowds. I think it was what, last weekend, or the weekend before, I can't remember now, we had a carnival here in town, and they had a fireworks extravaganza, which was quite long. I can hear it from here, couldn't see it. But I don't go to it. I don't like dealing with crowds and wall-to-wall people. You're walking like this, you know, and you know, and the traffic, even though it's up here, you know, it's just a mad rush. It's not worth it. I'd rather watch it on TV. So, well, the ice is going off with them. And of course, every year, I believe it's next weekend, New London will have its Sail Fest, and they've been having that for quite a number of years. And in the very early, I believe it was the 90s, I used to go there and used to stay for the fireworks, but the crowd getting out of there and driving out was a nightmare. So I only did it one year, and after that I never went back to see them. Basically, you've seen one fireworks, you've seen them all. But I watch them on TV. They're, you know, you can sit there in your comfort of your own home. You don't have to fight the bugs. You don't have to fight the people. You don't have to be next to an idiot who's puffing away on a cancer stick or something, and you know, and loud, obnoxious people. So I'd rather just be home, and when I'm done watching it and it's over, I'm there. I'm home. I don't have to worry about how am I going to get home? It's going to take me an hour to get home, and I got to fight the crowds and the nuts on the road and everything else. You know, as you get older, you don't like doing these things. Back when we were younger, as I said, my cousin and her kids and her husband would all go out, and they'd take me along, and they'd go out of town and watch the fireworks down New Haven way or near there. And I enjoyed that because I didn't have to do the driving, although back then I didn't mind the driving, and I did not mind driving at night. My eye doctor told me I'm not allowed to drive at night, but I can drive during the day, and I have clearance for that, so there's not a problem with that. Alright, let's see if we can get this over. One more turn here. Make this down one more and then turn that. Turn that. Like I say, these have to be babysat because of the fact that they will burn, and I got this down low. And it stays low because I'm not cooking hamburgers. When you're cooking hamburgers with 15% fat is what we usually get, because if they, you know, you get anything more than that, it's not only more expensive, but they don't cook good. You need some grease to cook it. And the grease will get down in the grill, and you can turn this thing completely off, and the flames are still there, and they burn everything above it, you know. But we're doing hot dogs, so there's basically no grease to speak of. We always joke about what's in a hot dog. If you knew what was in a hot dog, you would never eat one, and neither would I. There's all kinds of animal scraps and stuff like that that's in them. But when you go to a vendor or you go to cook hot dogs and stuff, and you really don't think about that stuff, you know, when you go into a restaurant, you don't know if the cook, the chef, or even the people that serve your meals at McDonald's wash their hands. I remember one time I made a video. I said, from the throne to the grill at McDonald's. That guy's no longer there, but he's been there for a number of years, and he used to cook on the grill. and this was a good 10 years ago, I guess, maybe 8 years ago. Um, and I was in the bathroom washing my hands, and this guy was in the stall. I didn't know who he was till he came out, and he came right from the stall, went right out, and and I was behind him because I was already dried my hands, and he went right to the grill and started cooking. So you don't know, if you knew how these restaurants cooked, you would not eat in them. I worked in restaurants as dishwashers in my very early years before I got my regular jobs. And most restaurants have cockroaches. They have pest control, but you get cockroaches anyways. And you don't know. You just don't know. So that one's a little burnt on one side. We don't want that. We can move that over here. Move that over here. Get these up here. Down over there. Don't like them like that. Gotta be very careful. When we used to have cookouts, I used to do the cooking on the grill. And I didn't mind that kind of cooking. I didn't mind, because all I did was put the hot dogs and the hamburgers on the grill. And the only problem I had is when people came, I'd greet them, and I used to have a sign out there saying BBB Cookout, and that stood for Bill's Burger Burn, because when Bill got sidetracked and he was talking, me in other words, I was talking to, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time, how you doing, Ted, or how you doing, Rosie, whatever, and they'd come in, or how you doing, Lionel, and hi, Leo, I haven't forgot you, and all the time you used to come here at our cookouts, and there's the burgers on the grill or whatever, and they're burned up and they become hockey pucks. So you have to be very careful. You know, you gotta, when you're a cook on the grill, you cannot greet people. You cannot greet people, because if you do, you're going to burn your hamburgers, your hot dogs, whatever. They get burned very, very quickly. And I don't like these paper plates. We got rid of all our cookout stuff when we had cookouts. We just gave it away to the donation center. I used to have these paper plate plastic things that go underneath to support these things. I had a whole stack of them for all my guests. Well, we went big time when we had cookouts. And let me get these down here. But it got to a point where put that up a little bit. Got to a point where people started, less and less people come. The kids that used to come grown, and they got boyfriends and girlfriends, and they end up having kids of their own and stuff like that, and you know, and a lot of my relatives died off. Quite a few of them died off, and so, and then illnesses and stuff like that. So we look back on the cookouts every once in a while. We'll get a cookout video out and watch it, you know. But this is the extent of the cookout, and that's why there's a wooden platform out there, because there's nothing on this grill. I can turn this off. Because there used to be a screen house 15 feet by 16 feet, 8 feet high, and the platform is pressure treated 2x4s and half-inch plywood, and it's still holding up to this day. So I never did remove it. All right, we're going in. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Stay safe. Enjoy the fireworks wherever they may be in your area.